Hello, folks. Um, Wanted to offer some information to everyone. My name is Will Michael, and one of my areas of study and professional behavior is that of a hypnotherapist. And I basically wanted to talk to you about something we call the nocebo effect. Many of you are familiar with the concept of a placebo, the idea that if we believe that something will make us well, that it in fact does make us well. I've heard statistics about placebo effect saying that in many cases, the placebo effect in the controlled studies is actually more effective in bringing about positive removal of symptoms and positive uh, curing or healing more than the actual medications that were done in that study. Um, so part of what I'm trying to talk about here is the power of suggestion. Uh, Basically, that is what we study as hypnotherapists, is how suggestion works. And to a large extent, suggestion is always happening as a human being. We learn through suggestion. Um, we learn the alphabet through suggestion. We learn how to speak through suggestion. That's why someone in one country has a certain language and a state of mind, whereas in another country, that language doesn't work at all. It doesn't connect with the people. And so that country has to have their own language, their own sets of suggestive symbols. Um, so part of the art of suggestion, the power of suggestion, has to do with a very simple principle, and that is the idea that it's not so much what our thoughts are as much as what the imagery those thoughts create. Because our subconscious mind responds to the images that we present to it. And the way we present those images has to do with the way we create our thoughts. And therefore, it's very important to understand that not only the way we create our thoughts, but also the kind of thoughts we entertain that come at us from the media, that come at us from the environment. Uh, Everything is suggestive, has a suggestive power if we choose to look at it that way. And when we're in a situation like we are right now with COVID-19, we're in a situation where a lot of information is coming at us, a lot of descriptions of symptoms. Um, there I go, I touched my nose. Um, but I did wash my hands. That's an important thing to be conscious of. The advice I hear is don't touch your face unless you've washed your hands. Now, that could be wrong, but if washing your hands worked, it should be right. Anyway, I don't mean to get off on another tangent, but it is tricky. Um, so I guess I wanted to just talk about how the power of suggestion is operating and how we need to be conscious of it and take responsibility for it and be conscious of how we contribute to and can either make or break or lead us in a positive or negative direction. It's one of the reasons why stress as a general overriding umbrella term for some of the things I'm talking about makes your immune system shut down to some extent. And the degree to which you shut it down has to do with how much negative thinking you're involved with, as well as how much emotional fear and worry you're investing your energy in. And it's very important to understand that investing that energy is creating a reality for you, sets up a filter. And so the way the nocebo effect works is that if you hear a whole list of symptoms of what COVID-19 feels like, what you're going to feel like if you have it, etc., and you focus on that, you worry on it, you fear about it, you're literally visualizing the outcome you don't want. But at the same time, you're telling your subconscious mind this is what you do want, because the subconscious mind doesn't hear the part of I don't want to think about this or I don't like thinking about this. It just simply pays attention to the movie those thoughts are creating. And therefore, it's the reason why there's so much going on right now with meditation, with breath work, with focusing on practices that keep your mind focused and centered and alive in your body, and focus on positive imagery, focused on that you are strong, you are resilient, you are powerful. It's a very important part of this process, and we're getting bombarded by this energy. And I've been watching social media fairly closely, and what I see is a lot of people are starting to talk about this phenomenon right now. They're talking about uh, watching themselves starting to manifest the symptoms that they're fearful of, and then kind of having to check themselves, thank God, because some people won't check themselves. They don't understand what I'm talking about. So I just think it's an important thing to be conscious of, to keep your thinking positive, to keep your practices positive, to do something to keep your mind anywhere but down those treacherous roads of fear, worry, and negative thinking. Um, it's a good time for clearing a lot of negative energy, a lot of negative thoughts, a lot of limiting beliefs. Um, that's a whole topic for another time, but I just want people to be conscious of the way that we all contribute to creating our own reality. And I feel like what's going on right now is a very um, strong test of that. And you need to be equipped with the tools that I'm talking to you about right now. I guess if I could summarize, be aware that it's not the thinking or the thoughts you think so much as the images that those thoughts create. Because if those images are what you don't want, which is what fear and worry are doing too, then you want to switch your mind. You want to do something to switch that to a positive image, a positive affirmation that says I'm healthy and strong. Every part of my body, every cell on my body is strong and resilient and is protecting itself. My immune system is strong and vibrant and radiant, and it is keeping a powerful, energetic shield between me and this virus. Virus is energy, your body is energy, your mind is energy. It's a matter of energetic sort of competition or energetic sort of strength. And your mind is the center and the key to that strength. So the idea is stay positive, spend time consciously making a list of all these positive things. There's lots of information online right now about what affirmations are, how they work. Um, Also, the law of attraction, being conscious of the fact that um, who you are in the moment, what you're feeling creates an attraction to you. That's why the fear of getting this virus and all the symptoms can actually create that experience even if you do not have the virus. So it's a very interesting time. It's a time for people to get empowered and to realize their power and to stand up to that power. There's a whole list of other things you can and should be doing, and people are addressing those things. But so far, I haven't seen anybody address what I'm talking about. And I think it's a very important part of what's surfacing right now. A lot of us are in that, including myself. I see it in myself too. And I know, given all I've known about this for years, that this is happening because I am starting to see how it's starting to show up with me as well. And I'm starting to have to really focus on and be conscious of whatever fears I have, whatever way my thinking is going, how much I'm indulging in the media, hearing about these symptoms over and over again. Another point I want to make is the point that following the guidelines, playing by the rules right now, doing what is being told to you to do is not only wise and technically, scientifically correct and important, but it also contributes to the fact that you're okay, you're keeping yourself okay, you're taking care of yourself. It is a placebo effect that will operate and kick in your immune system because you are participating in creating the immunity yourself, and your mind is participating. So this is a very important part of this, is to engage in this. This is part of the inner work. This is part of the actual frontline struggle we each are facing right now. So I highly recommend that you look into this more, think about it more, put your focus on it more, and look for opportunities to meditate, to learn to meditate. There's lots of guided imagery going on. I've been posting guided imagery from various people that I consider to be the best in the world. There's also any breath work uh, training you can give yourself. There's plenty of that online. Wim Hof is good. Anything you look up as conscious breathing techniques um, is good information, because breathing has all kinds of positive benefits. Not only it helps you to manage stress, but anytime you do any breathing, you are coming into the moment, you're being present, and you have to be in your body. So the concept of conscious breathing is your mind and body are linked through the simple activity of breathing in certain ways. And that activity itself is bringing in energy into every cell of your body the more you do it. So activities like that, anything that gets you to focus on your health, focus on your well-being. That's why yoga is great. Even any sport. That's why even watching TV, comedy particularly, let yourself laugh, let yourself be focused on something that distracts you from the negative. This is a time to indulge that. This is not a time to feel guilty about watching TV shows all day. You have to. This is another area of limiting beliefs, is the belief that it's not good under this circumstance, to feel like it's somehow not good and that you should feel guilty for just being, and just being with yourself and being conscious of yourself, and pay attention to all those feelings. Those feelings are part of your dynamic that is who you are in this moment. And unfortunately and fortunately, some of those feelings are based on limiting beliefs, fear-oriented beliefs, etc. So it's an opportunity to examine all that. Um, a good friend and mentor, colleague, Paul Sullivan, um, always would say, examine yourself, it's later than you think. And it could be, who knows? None of us know what's happening right now. I don't know for sure, but what I'm telling you today, I do know for sure. And I'm on the front lines with you all. So I want to just take a moment to thank everybody who's putting stuff out there right now. And I'm thanking Spirit for kind of moving me to say this and to get this online with you all. Um, can't tell you how much I'm learning, and how humbling this is, and how important this is to all of humanity, to realize how important our connection with one another is to each other and to the world and to the communities that we hope to build, to create a life of compassion, a world full of compassion and caring and love for our fellow man and woman, and our fellow creatures, and the planet itself. This planet that is nurturing us and sustaining us if we give back to her. So many of us are on this track, and it looks like this is the only way we're going to wake people up. And I'm not saying us in the sense of even humanity. I'm saying the spiritual world is calling now. The spiritual world is saying, okay, we've got to get you guys moving out of those trances that you're in. I can tell you, as a hypnotherapist, every hypnotherapist is taking someone out of a trance that isn't working for them, because everyone is in a trance. Don't be fooled by the concept that you're somehow free and free of trance. You're only as free as your mind is, and you're only as in prison to the extent that your mind imprisons you and keeps you in a state of fear and limitation and so on and so forth. Anyway, I guess I feel like I've said enough, and I hope I can get this online. Um, I feel good about it. So thank you all. Keep up the good fight. Love one another. Be kind to one another. Learn to be compassionate if you aren't already. I'm still learning. I have a long way to go to walk that talk, but I'm learning a lot these days. So thank you all. Love you.